So what is a mindfulness? Before we talking about mindful communication, I think that the best way to understand mindfulness is to experience it. May I just ask all of you here to sit quietly and put down everything and be with yourself for a few minutes, and see if you can bring your mind, bring your attention to this present moment. You can gently bring your attention to your own breath, and close your eyes. And see how can you be aware, fully aware of this present moment. Can you see how the way your mind works, how the thought arises, emotions arise? How you can put down all thoughts and emotions. Okay, thank you very much. I think those who have been doing this by themselves see to experience the real meaning of mindfulness. And you see how it's not so easy to just be with yourself in this present moment. Right? So when you try to find the definitions of mindfulness over the internet, even among our venerable monks ourselves, we have some different opinions about it. Even it seems to be quite simple, but then you find so many definitions of that. I'm not sure that what I'm trying to give you today will be cover everything that we want to talk about in terms of mindful communication or not. Because like it or not, because the word mindfulness itself this have rooted in the Buddhist teaching from the word called sati. And as sati itself, the real meaning of it is to remember. But it's not the memory that we are talking about in terms of general memory. Think about something that we can remember, but more on recognizing, remembering, or not forgetting what we should have in this present moment or any given situation. I like to give the definitions of one of the monk I know, that he said the sati, instead of using the mindfulness, is the mental faculty that brings to mind and bear in mind. It's mean bringing in mind all you need to remember in a given situation and don't become distracted from it. You experience this in yourself that it's not easy just to be with the present moment and not to be distracted from the thought and emotion that arise in the mind. Usually, a lot of the people do make it the translations of sati as mindfulness, and also give the explanation as awareness, open awareness, non-judgmental awareness, and so many. And a lot of time that we found that in the West now, since people find that mindfulness practice is very useful, especially for those who work in the mental health problems, they see that mindfulness practice can become very, very useful indeed in dealing with problem of stress and depression. So you can Google it on the internet and you find so many articles on it, and so many researchers focus on this area, how this mindfulness can work. But the mindfulness practice itself in the West usually try to be secularized, try to focus on the way that we can practice without trying to add any kind of religious value into it. This comes into something like problematic itself because we don't know in the long run how this is going to manifest. Because in order to have sati, in our teaching, Buddhist teaching, that it's not only just state that come and become good in itself, it needs to accompany by panya, wisdom. With this kind of moral framework, the state itself wouldn't be enough for us to guide us into the right direction. We need to develop the panya, wisdom, into it too. In some way, the state is a path itself that leads to panya too. You need to have to develop this to accompany it, to make it successful. Because if we just talked about the mindfulness or sati as the awareness or fully awareness, open awareness or attention, you can see that I kept trying to catch a mouse. This cat should have also know very well what he's going to do, right? He has concentration, but we don't see this one as a right mindfulness or samadhi, right? Because the aim is to kill, right? The aim is to cause harm to other people, other living beings. So for me, it's very important that we focus on this kind of mindfulness, and also another part that mindfulness lead to or have to have some moral framework on it. And this becomes very useful for working in communication itself. And why this mindfulness become important for communication? I think that most of the Buddhist teaching, we focus on the way how we relate to ourselves. In some way, there's another definition of mindfulness that we translate as awareness or self-awareness. Just like you did short times ago about experience your own mindfulness, that you fully aware of your body sensation, you're aware of your feelings and thoughts that arise in the mind. So this is what we call by self by the Buddhist term, Buddhist ideas about self. Our self is the body, bodily sensation, and then the state of minds. And as you can see, it's really clear that when you get distracted by your feeling, your thought, your state of mind, it wouldn't be so easy to be objective, to hear things or to understanding entities. In terms of interpersonal communication that we relate to people around us, you can see how difficult it can be to communicate when you have emotions arise in the mind. For example, when you get so angry with someone, how you can be mindful and then choose the right word in this situation. So in this situation around us in everyday life, you can see clear that how mindfulness constantly become useful in communication. And we then apply to this into the broader area like media or social media that we are now experiencing. Because that one cannot be mindful with oneself and distracted by feelings and emotions in the mind. So the way they perceive the reality or the situation is not like what it is, what is happening, but more in somehow more on what they want it to happen, or what they think is happening. So become problems in itself. Another thing that since we're talking about the mindfulness sati and also panya, the wisdom that we have to develop into communication. In Buddhist teaching, we focus a lot of suffering. So the aims of being Buddhist or putting Buddhist practice into our life is to develop skills that we can reduce sufferings and help other people to reduce their sufferings, aiming for freedom from suffering in life. So these are something that we can do and we can contribute to others, not promote conflicts and problems. By just talking about this, we can see it very clear. I don't want to blame it on anyone, but this is the fact that we see almost every day that the media now, what we've seen on television, on newspaper, or even in social media, is not something that likely to promote peace and understanding, right? Instead of doing that, sometimes it's even more making conflict more stronger and lead to misunderstanding. Thinking about the conflict, the political conflict in many countries in the world, especially Thailand in itself. Some of you who studies about or read some news in Thailand, you probably know our political conflict over the red shirt and yellow shirt. I see this is a very clear evidence or example that we can see how not being mindful can be clouded the way they present the news and also the way people receive the news too. I have friends from both sides, and I noticed that the way my friends try to communicate about their opinion and also receive the news are really limited in itself because they have their own ideas about the thing they want to hear or they want to say. So it limits from even it is the same situation, the fact is there, but the way to present the fact is different for both sides. It depends on how they feel about it, how they like it to be. So I hope that in this way, learning to put mindfulness or sati into practice in terms of not only the personal level, but also in the levels of the media that we are trying to do in this conference would be useful to help us to promote peace and understanding, and not make ourselves become part of the problems, but more on finding the solution, contribute something that we can help others, at least to reduce suffering. Because a lot of suffering of people come from misunderstanding, because they don't know, they don't understand. I can't help feeling that some of my friends from both sides, red shirt and yellow shirt, if they understand or accept the information from the other side or the opposite side, I think it would be better to be able to talk with each other, even though that we still have some disagreement. But the thing is now that when they block their mind from listening, or even when they're listening, just like you are doing now, if you read mindfully, you focus on what I try to share with you. But if your mind is not here, your mind is running around to some other thing outside, you don't really understand what I try to share with you, right? So you listen as if you listen, but not really. You don't really listen. And we try to comment on it, comment on what you think about what I talk about. This is the same that people are doing nowadays, and it is causing problem for me. So learning to put mindfulness or sati into practice and also develop another faculty of mind, the ability to develop wisdom, to be open, listen to open from both sides, and not to judge too soon about other people. This will be very helpful to promote peace and understanding. And this could lead to the community of living together in harmony, and also we can benefit from each other, trying to help each other with compassion, with metta, to reduce suffering for ourselves and for others.